Welcome to Arise United Devils. In today's news, Erik ten Hag urges Manchester United flops to help under fire star after Bayern Munich defeat. Erik ten Hag has urged his Manchester United players to support and help Andre Onana after the goalkeeper made a costly error in their 4-3 defeat at Bayern Munich. Thomas Tuchel's side took the lead when Onana allowed Leroy Sane's tame-looking shot to slide under his grasp and dribble over the line. Bayern doubled their advantage moments later as Serge Gnabry fired home to put the home side in cruise control at the Allianz Arena. Rasmus Hojlund scored his first United goal to give them hope in the 49th minute, but Harry Kane restored Bayern's 2-goal lead from the penalty spot shortly after. The German champions should have been out of sight before Casemiro pulled another one back for the Red Devils late on. Mathys Tel's injury time strike sealed the points for Bayern, even though Casemiro struck once more, but it was too little too late for United to get anything from the game. Question marks have since been pointed at Onana for his first-half mistake, and he pushed to be interviewed post-match so that he could take responsibility. While Onana fronted up for his error, Ten Hag wants his team to rally around the Cameroon international and help him as United look to bounce back when they travel to Burnley this weekend. I think he shows that he takes the responsibility and shows personality, and the personality he needs to get in high levels, Ten Hag explained. But that's not only about him, but I think it's about the team's performance. So we have to support him on the pitch, we have to help him. But it doesn't only count for Andre, it counts for all the players on the pitch. They have to understand they are 11, they are in the same boat, and they have to be on the same page to get results. In football, there will always be mistakes, so don't make it bigger than it is. As I said already, it was not only Andre with that goal, it was after that. In the second half, he made great saves for us, he showed his capabilities, and he will bounce back for us, he is an important player. Onana felt he was responsible for his side's defeat against Bayern and admitted he was to blame as United were beaten for the third game on the bounce. The 27-year-old has kept one clean sheet in 6 matches since making the big money move from Inter Milan in the summer. In the beginning we start really good. After my mistake we lose the control of the game, Onana admitted. It's a difficult situation for us, for me, especially because I'm the one who let the team down. But the team was very good, I think it was because of me that we didn't win this game. I'm happy for the work of the team and we just have to move on. This is the life of a goalkeeper. If we didn't win today, it's because of me. Away from the pitch, Erik ten Hag, Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Hojlund pay Manchester United respects to Munich air disaster victims. Manchester United sent a delegation including Erik ten Hag, Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Hojlund to Manchesterplatz on Thursday to pay their respects to those who tragically lost their lives in the Munich air disaster. The memorial commemorates the victims of the 1958 plane crash in which 23 people, including 8 United players, died. In memory of those who lost their lives, part of a street was renamed to Manchesterplatz, and a memorial was erected, where the club's chief executive officer Richard Arnold and former captain Brian Robson placed a wreath on Thursday. The wreath was presented on behalf of the club, and football director John Murtough and chief operating officer Colette Roche were also in attendance, with around 30 United supporters present for the ceremony. Club captain Fernandes and new signing Hojlund paid their respects, and Ten Hag was pictured talking to fans after the ceremony. Ahead of the Under-19s UEFA Youth League opener against Bayern, United sent a delegation from the academy to Manchesterplatz on Tuesday night, and Nick Cox and academy manager Travis Binion led that group. The club have said, learning about the Munich air disaster and the effect it had has always been a key part of the education of our young footballers. On injury, Manchester United in double fullback blow as Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka's likely return dates are revealed. Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are reportedly set for lengthy spells on the sidelines. Manchester United have been hit with an injury crisis which saw them without 12 senior players for their 4-3 loss to Bayern Munich on Wednesday night. It wasn't the Champions League opener that the Red Devils were hoping for, with their squad spread so thin that Ten Hag was forced to name 3 goalkeepers on the bench. Amongst those injured are Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, who have both been forced out of action in recent weeks. Shaw hasn't featured for Man United since their 2-0 defeat at the hands of Tottenham in the second game of the season. And according to ESPN, the England international could remain on the treatment table until at least the November international break. Whilst Wan-Bissaka's hamstring injury that he picked up against Brighton could also be worse than initially feared. United have stated the former Crystal Palace man will be away from the pitch for several weeks, but ESPN have revealed that it could be more than 2 months until he lines back up for the Manchester Giants. It's not all doom and gloom for Ten Hag and company, with reports suggesting they could have a squad boost before their clash with Burnley this weekend. The club are said to be hopeful that Mason Mount and Raphael Varane will be able to get some minutes in the Premier League bout. Both have returned to training after missing out on the trip to the Allianz. More on football. Bruno Fernandes gives verdict on Facundo Pellistri after making second Manchester United start. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes said that winger Facundo Pellistri deserved his starting berth after Wednesday night's 4-3 defeat to Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena in the UEFA Champions League. The Uruguayan was awarded just his second start in United colours as they fell to a third successive defeat in all competitions. His only previous start for the club was against Real Betis in the Europa League back in March, a contest which saw United take a 4-1 lead into it following the first leg in Manchester a week earlier. There had been a growing number of calls since the recent international break for manager Erik ten Hag to award Pellistri his first start of the season after Jadon Sancho and Antony were ruled out for off-field issues. The youngster started on the right wing in Munich, joining forces with Rasmus Hojlund and Marcus Rashford in attack. The former Alaves loanee went close to putting United in front inside the opening 5 minutes from a few yards out, only for Bayern left-back Alphonso Davies to rob the ball off his toes when he looked set to open the scoring. Though he showed flashes of his capabilities, he did not impact the game as much as he does when he is tasked with impacting proceedings from the bench. Nevertheless, Fernandes thought the youngster did well on his first meaningful start for the club, insisting that he fully deserved his opportunity to try and impress Ten Hag. Pellistri is one of the players that deserves his chance, Fernandes said. He deserves a lot of credit for everything he has done for the team. He is someone who is always available, always training hard, and someone who deserves his chance. He did well today. He did the job the manager asked him to do, and we are all happy for him because he really deserves to get his chances. In a similar vein, Victor Lindelof issues Manchester United rallying call and reacts to Andre Onana howler. Victor Lindelof insists every Manchester United player is itching to put things right when they travel to face Burnley in the Premier League this weekend. United head into the match at Turf Moor on the back of 3 successive defeats. Erik ten Hag's side yet again conceded a quick-fire double versus Bayern Munich on Wednesday night, despite managing to stay in the game with 3 goals of their own to deservedly lose 4-3 on the night. Speaking after the match in which Onana made a howler, Lindelof defended Onana for his latest mistake and urged his teammates to bounce back with a win this weekend. Mistakes are part of football. It happens, but it's all about how we can bounce back from that, he told MUTV. I think we started the game well, and then obviously we conceded the first goal. After that we just have to keep doing our job and keep playing the football that we want to. We came out in the second half and we wanted to give it a good try, and we managed to score 3 goals. But like I said, in the end we didn't get the result we wanted. So of course it's very frustrating. Looking ahead to Saturday's trip to face a winless Burnley side in the Premier League, he added, in the Premier League, it's always tough. It's all about the recovery, and like you said, we're staying here tonight and we will try to get a good night's sleep and recover well. We then fly back to Manchester to prepare for the game on Saturday. Everyone is eager to play that game as well, to bounce back and get 3 points and hopefully keep going after that. Interestingly, on David De Gea. David De Gea did not get enough credit at Manchester United as Onana fallout continues. Manchester United have been told David De Gea did not get enough credit for his performances at the club following Andre Onana's start for the Reds. De Gea left Old Trafford in the summer after Erik ten Hag was not able to reach a deal with the Spaniard. United's manager wanted to keep the 32-year-old but could not guarantee his position as first choice at the club. United went on to sign Onana as his replacement, but the shot-stopper has come under fire for shipping goals. Most recently, the Cameroonian was blamed after Bayern Munich scored 4 to beat the Reds in the Champions League. Onana blamed himself for the defeat in a post-match interview which he requested, and while Robbie Savage found this admirable, he believes De Gea was lambasted unfairly during his last season at the club. Speaking to Planet Sportbet, the former United midfielder said, "Being Manchester United's number 1, taking over from David De Gea, you have to hit the ground running. Manchester United wanted to play out from the back, but what David De Gea did, He kept the ball out of the net quite well and won the Golden Glove for Manchester United last season. Then Andre Onana comes in with high expectations after playing in the Champions League final, but they've conceded 14 goals this season and 9 goals in their last 3 games, on top of that huge mistake against Bayern. People now, I don't think, give David De Gea enough credit for what he did when he was Manchester United's number 1. He won Player of the Season multiple times and won the Golden Glove too. You will of course get criticized being Manchester United's number 1. He came out, he'd faced the press, he blamed himself, which I admire. But it's not about him, it's about the collective and the whole team. Manchester United could draw a game 0-0 and their centre forward could miss loads of chances, and they won't get criticized as much as a goalkeeper because that mistake is highlighted. In a new development, Rio Ferdinand explains why Manchester United are making it hard for themselves amid poor run. Rio Ferdinand has admitted Manchester United need to be harder to play against, and cut out defensive errors if they want to turn their poor run of form around. United have now lost 3 matches on the bounce and have kept 1 clean sheet this season. Ex-United defender Ferdinand dissected the Red Devils' recent form and believes they must defend better and make teams work harder to score against them. Speaking to TNT Sports, he said, "They showed a bit of spirit at the end, but up until that point they are not making it hard enough for teams to score goals. Goals and chances are being given up too easily. They are making it hard for themselves. When you come to places like this, you have got to be hard to play against, concentrate and be hard to get through, and they are not being that at the moment. And, when they get their moments in these games they are not being clinical enough. To score 3 goals at the Allianz Arena, you have to get away with something." Paul Scholes also delivered his verdict on United's disappointing start to the season, which has seen them win just twice from their opening 6 matches in all competitions. He said, "When you look at the game as a whole, I thought Manchester United did well but still conceded 2 goals early on and lacked that concentration. Those 3 goals flattered Manchester United. I thought they were outclassed in the second half really. There is experience in this team, but it's not being used." On a final note, Manchester United ready to cut losses on Jadon Sancho amid firm Erik ten Hag transfer stance. Manchester United are ready to sell Jadon Sancho to the highest bidder in the January transfer window after Erik ten Hag decided to cut his losses. Sancho has been kicked out of the first team squad after publicly falling out with ten Hag over his non-selection for the squad to face Arsenal on September 3rd. The winger posted a statement on social media which accused the Dutchman of spreading completely untrue information and of making him a scapegoat. He has refused to apologize to ten Hag for his behavior and has been ordered to train by himself at Carrington. The 23-year-old deleted his post on social media, but any signs of reintegration with the United squad now appears unlikely, with the coming transfer window offering a chance for a solution. The Daily Star reports that United will look to cut their losses in January by trying to sell Sancho and recoup as much of the £73 million they paid Borussia Dortmund 2 summers ago. United were willing to send Sancho to Saudi Arabia in the summer transfer window, but the winger showed no interest in moving to the Middle East. Dortmund are understood not to be interested in resigning a player who impressed with 50 goals and 64 assists in 137 games at the club. And United may struggle to find a buyer, given his current issues and record of just 12 goals and 6 assists in 82 appearances over the past 2 seasons. He is also under contract until June 2026 and is being paid around £350,000 per week. United's firm stance with Sancho comes in spite of their current malaise and injury crisis, which has seen them lose 3 games in succession for the first time since 2019 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ten Hag is without Antony, who has been instructed to stay away from the club while he defends himself over allegations of physical assault by an ex-partner. Yet ten Hag is still unwilling to back down and allow Sancho to return to the squad. The nature of United's blunt statement on Sancho shows that they believe the ball is in his court. It simply read, "Jadon Sancho will remain on a personal training program away from the first team group, pending resolution of a squad discipline issue." Fans, do you think it's fair to compare Onana to David De Gea? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Till next time.